सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Now we have seen an important topic in the third chapter last time. And what was it that we saw? We saw that the need for action is not only spurred by one's own desires, need not be spurred only by one's desires, but also from the standpoint of the jnani, it can be spurred by the concerns of allowing other people also to be inspired as a source of inspiration for everybody else. So the jnani does not have a compulsion to act at all. There are no duties, but at the same time, for the jnani, any number of actions is not going to be stressful. Why? Because the person of knowledge is free enough to do, not to do, no problem at all. So if the jnani is put in the place, in the role of performing certain functions, playing certain roles, it will just be that. It will be playing a role. It will not translate into rolling, the role will not roll into a bundle of stress for the jnani. We have seen that. There is that freedom which is talked about by Bhagavan himself, where he says that there is nothing for me to do, O Arjuna. In all the three worlds, there is nothing to accomplish. There is nothing to get rid of. My duties are over. My desires not being there, because the desire and action are connected. We also saw that. So since the desire is not there, since the action is free of desire, then the jnani is free to help others. And then here he in the next topic, which is from the verse 27 onwards, I think. Yes. So verse 26 onwards, we saw another important topic, that what kind of actions must the jnani do, what kind of actions must the jnani not do, out of a sense of compassion for the people in the world. Na buddhi bhedam janayet, 26th verse, ajnaninam karma sanginam. Na buddhi bhedam janayet. Do not create any kind of ripples in the minds of those who are committed to action. Because those who are committed to action, there are various commitments. People want to do all kinds of, we can look at it from the standpoint of the spiritual and the secular life. So in the spiritual life, there are many commitments. People are committed to yoga, people are committed to tapas. Tapas means various religious austerities. People are committed to, what is that called? Sadhanas of various kinds. Pranayama, japa, meditation. Parayana means reading of the religious scriptures, reading of, and then they have in their houses, they have akhanda path, meaning the non-stop, the whole thing is chanted. So this is the religious commitments that people have, which they do judiciously. Pujas, various kinds of, what is that called, physicalized ritualistic actions, yajnas, fire rituals, all these people are committed to in the quote-unquote religious/spiritual world. Then in the mundane life also there are many, many commitments. So many things people are committed to. I want to exercise. I have an exercise regimen. This is what I want to do every day. I want to pump the iron, as they say. I want to do this. I want to do that. And there is, what else? Some people are committed to helping others. They want to volunteer at soup kitchens, etc. They want to do seva. That is a very big commitment in the world. I want to do seva, I want to do this, I want to go here, I want to go there. Pilgrimage, that's another religious commitment. We go to various places. And so the whole world is busy doing something or the other. Everybody is committed to something, including stock market. There are so many commitments. And then what the person of knowledge must do is encourage these commitments. As long as, it's not being a pickpocket, as long as they are in keeping with dharma, encourage those commitments. Do not, in any situation, do not do this. Do not give them the, give them any kind of ideas disturbing their commitments. Do not disturb their commitments because they are already committed to something. And it's harmless. It's harmless means it's actually helping their growth. It's not going against their growth. It's helping their growth. It's helping their demeanor. It's helping their emotional maturity. So as long as it's doing that, like I said, if somebody is doing pickpocket and other kinds of adharmic things, this verse doesn't apply. Na buddhi bhedam janayet. Do not cause any kind of ripples or disturbance in their mind. For whom? Ajnana, people who do not know Atma Tattva, people who do not know that I am Sat, I am Chit, I am Ananda. People who don't know that, please leave them alone. Not only leave them alone, the second line says Joshayet, from Jush, to encourage. You should encourage those kinds of people. You should not allow them to be disturbed from their way of life. On the contrary, encourage. Sarva karmani, all their commitments, encourage. Vidwan, who should encourage? The Vidwan, the Jnani. Yuktas samacharan. Yuktas samacharan means what is that? Yuktaha means engaged in. Perform the karma along with them. Somebody invites you to a puja. And, I'm having a puja at my house. No, I don't do pujas. Why? Because I'm a jnani and I'm not coming to your house. In fact, you should also not be doing the puja. No. Go and do the puja along with them. And help them to see that this is, this is a very important way of preparing for this knowledge. And then here, Bhashya, buddhehe bhedaha, buddhi bhedaha. Buddhi bheda means disturbing the commitment. Disturbing the commitment means disturbing the emotion behind the commitment. The thought or the emotion, the vritti behind the commitment is what? Shraddha. This is what it means. It's not just disturbing the activities. Disturbing the Shraddha behind the commitment is what is talked about here. Do not do that. Na janayet. Do not cause this. And what is the Shraddha? Idam maya kartavyam bhoktavyam cha asya karmanah phalam iti nischata rupayaha buddhehe bhedanam chalanam buddhi bhedaha. Beautiful definition. Maya idam kartavyam. This is my duty. I have to do this. I absolutely have to do this. Like somebody says, it is my duty to take care of my family, my spouse, my children. I have to take care of. And then what? and then you go and tell them, no, you should leave everything and go to an ashram. No, don't do that. Encourage them to take care of whatever they are doing. So, idam maya kartavyam, this has to be done by me. I am committed to this action. Bhoktavyam cha asya karmanaha phalam. Plus, nobody does anything for the sake of just doing. The results of this action are pleasing to me. Somebody is committed to heaven. How do you go to heaven? Lot of karma, actions, religious and secular, seva, and then upasana, meditation. So all this they are committed to because of the phala called some kind of a afterlife. Let them have it. Iti nishchita rupayaha buddhehe. The buddhi has decided that this is my thing. Buddhi means nishchayatmika buddhihi. That's the definition of buddhi. And Adi Shankara doesn't forget that. We may forget that. Nishchita rupayaha buddhehe bhedanam. Bhedanam means the making it what? Kind of stirring it. Making it, stirring that buddhi, chalanam, tam na janayet, na utpadayet, don't bring about. Avivekinam, for people who do not have discernment about what this pursuit is all about. Karma sanginam, people who have karma asakti. Asangavatam. Asangavatam means no distinction, no discrimination, and therefore they are stuck to the karma, attached to action. So then what else should we do? Kim tu kuryat. So what must be done instead? Joshayet, karayet, make them do. How to make them do? Sarva karmani vidwan swayam tadeva avidusham karma yuktaha abhiyuktaha samacharan. So the wise person himself performs all the actions and make the ignorant people perform the actions also. Those who are ignorant means of their own nature. This is the thing. And this is why we see the Shankaracharyas of various mathas doing so much puja. They don't need to do puja. They are all Vedantins. They know everything very well. But why do they do puja? To encourage the masses to on a life of dharma, on a clean dharmic life. That is why they do the puja along with the people, or to help the people recognize the means for antahkarana shuddhi, or inner tranquility, inner management, inner instrument, the mind, heart, etc., which has managed the strong preferences and prejudices. That is the thing. Then, introducing the next verse, a sentence is there. First we'll chant the verse and then see the bhashya. Prakrite kriyamanani gunaih karmani sarvashah ahankara vimudhatma kartahamiti manyate. Prakritehe kriyamanani. Prakritehe kriyamanani means prakriti, the nature. What is nature here? The gunas. Various gunas, etc. Then various gunas, these modifications. Guna here also means modification. So, impelled by kriyamanani prakritehe kriyamanani gunaihi karmani sarvashah. Sarvashah means for all. All actions are performed in various manners. Why? Impelled by the qualities born of Prakriti, nature. And what is this nature here? Nature here is Maya, Maya Shakti, which is filled with Sattva, Rajas, Tamo, Gunani. So this Maya Prakriti, this Maya alone performs the actions. Maya Shakti is the one that has bound the jiva, bound, so to speak, until one knows. So to speak, bound within the gunas of sattva, rajas, tamas. The sattva, rajas, tamas are like a tapestry in which the jiva feels as though trapped. Why? Because the entire creation is an interweaving of various kinds of proportions and ratios of sattva, rajas, and tamas. The whole creation is that. There is nothing other than that in this creation. And then the sattva, rajas, tamas can affect the body, can affect the mind, can affect the senses, can affect any other assemblage, but not the I, who is not part of the assemblage, who is the indweller as though of this assemblage, the Atma. So, as long as one is identified with the body, mind, sense complex and everything else around one, as long as that identity is ensconced there, you know what happens? There is the attachment to karma, attachment to ajnanam. And one is driven by sattva, rajas, and tamas. Mostly rajas and tamas. Sattva we don't have to be worried about so much. One is driven by the tamas and rajogunas. And why? Because one is completely in the spell of this identification with the body, mind, sense complex. I am as good as this body. Then what? Today I feel heavy. Today I don't feel like getting out of bed. I am as good as this mind. Then what? Never mind. That's all we can say about the mind. Never mind. And then what? I'm as good as the senses. I can't see. I can't hear. I'm as good as the prana. I feel restless. I can't breathe. I'm hyperventilating. Like this. So, as long as one is identified with the body, mind, sense complex, the what is that called? The force of this. There's a big force. The force of this identification leads one to have a feeling of being trapped in the rajas, tamas, etc. Mayas, gunas. This is what prakritehe kriyamanani. So this is the doings of Maya. Rajas, sattva and tamas. It doesn't affect me. Who am I? Mayavin. I am the one who is Ishvara. That is under whose ruling Maya as though casts a net. So Maya Shakti has got two components. One is the component of these gunas, the other one is the component of all knowledge. All knowledge for whom? Not the jiva, Ishvara. That is where I have to connect. I have to connect to that all knowledge aspect of Maya, not the ignorance aspect of Maya. That all knowledge of aspect of Maya makes it different, non-separate from Ishvara. And the so-called separating factor is what? Is just this, as though distinction between sattva, rajas, tamas, etc. That is what I have to overcome. And this overcoming is a cognitive shift. It's not really overcoming. You don't have to cross over sattva, rajas, tamas, etc. There is no crossing. It's a cognitive shift. A conscious process of disidentification with the body, mind, sense complex. Mind you, I'm not saying dissociation. Disidentification. And this identification doesn't mean that you're disconnected, no. Body is Atma, after all, everything is Atma. I am not just this body, that is what it is. Body is Atma, I am more than this body. Mind is Atma, I'm more than this mind. Senses is Atma, I'm everything, so I can't just be a bunch of senses. And so this way, I slowly walk the I from being completely committed and connected to this body mind sense complex over to Brahman. That is what this knowledge is all about. So, prakrutehi kriyamanani gunaihi karmani sarvashah. So all actions are performed in various manner because of this Maya Shakti. Prakriti here means Maya Shakti. And then what else? Ahankara Vimodhatma. Ahankarena Vimodhaha. So Vimodha. Atma yasya saha. So whose Atma here doesn't mean Atma. Atma here means the mind. So the one whose mind is vichalita, the one whose antahkarana is deluded. The one with the deluded antahkarana is called Vimodhatma, and the cause of this delusion is ahankara. Ahankarena vimodha. And why is it deluded by the ahankara? What is this ahankara? I notion, ego, I notion. So the I notion, as long as it is along with the body mind sense complex, it is ratifying this limited identification. It is sitting ensconced in this limited identification. Nothing happens. No knowledge can take place, even though one might be studying the Gita. No knowledge can take place, but here it is something which is very, very different. Very different. So this is the idea here. Prakrutehe kriyamanani gunaihi karmani sarvashah. Ahankara vimodhatma. Deluded by ahankara. What does the person think? Karta aham iti manyate. Manyate, considers. Considers what? Aham karta. I am the doer. I am the agent of action. I am not the karta. Who is karta? Purusha, Ishvara. This I don't know. In the Granth Sahib, it is very clearly said, Karta, Purukh. This Purusha is the Karta. I am not the Karta. But if I think of myself as the Karta, then I am identifying with Prakriti. I am identifying with Prakriti means Ajnanam here, which is the cause of delusion. Bhashya. Prakritehe Prakritihi Pradhanam Sattva Rajas Tamasam Gunanam Samyavastha Tasyaha Prakritehe. So Maya, who creates this force, this Shakti called Maya, Ishvara's Shakti that creates this web of Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, herself is in balance. Adi Shankara says, Samyavastha, there is a balance. There is a state of equilibrium of these three qualities. These three qualities do not affect Ishvara because it's his own Shakti. And so, but then what happens? This vikaraihi. So when this whole Jagat comes out, and this Jagat is what? Is a manifestation of various manifestation of Brahman, but in many names and forms with different configurations of Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Different configurations. It's not the same configuration at all. Different configurations of Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. And so therefore what? Therefore Vikara. Vikara means various modification. The Vikara is in stark contrast to Samyavastha. Samyavastha means Sama. Sama means equal. There is an equilibrium there before the potential when the creation has not yet happened, there is a certain equilibrium, and then the creation, so-called creation, manifestation, when the whole Jagat, the universe is manifest, and in the process of manifestation, in fact, the whole manifestation is a quote-unquote disturbance of this equilibrium. It's a deliberate disturbance, because otherwise how can how can you have this? It's a deliberate disturbance of this, of this equilibrium, and then this equilibrium is so to speak disturbed, as though disturbed. Why? Little bit of sattva, lot of rajas, and little bit of rajas, lot of tamas. Person cannot function at all like this. There is various kinds of combinations, and then vikaraihi, because of these the disturbance of the equilibrium, the modification of the equilibrium. How? In the form of karya karana rupaihi. Karya karana rupaihi means in the form of cause and effect. The whole Jagat manifest is a series of causes and effects. Cause, effect. Cause, effect. Think about it. Cause, effect, cause, effect, cause, effect. Tree. Then what is the cause of tree? Seed. What is the cause of seed? Another tree. What is the cause of another tree? Another seed. So there we have something, and then we have what is the cause of shirt? Fabric. What is the cause of fabric? Then we have yarn. What is the cause of yarn? We have cotton, polyester, whatever it is. What is the cause of cotton? Cotton bush. What is the cause of cotton bush? Cotton seed. So like this, we can keep on going in an infinite regress. The whole Jagat is like that. Pot. What is the cause of clay pot? Clay. Then what is the cause of clay? Then we can say molecules, particles, we can keep on going. We have to end up in Brahman. So the whole thing is a series of cause and effects. And then there itself, that which is the cause right now and feeling good about it, if it had a human mind, the clay would feel wonderful. Yay, I'm the cause of the whole earthen world of earthenware. And then the clay itself is a bunch of molecules, particles, etc. in a certain combination. Chemists will tell you that. Chemistry will tell you that. Minerals, all these things. And then the minerals and the particles cannot feel great about it because they are what? Prithvi, 5 elements. For the Prithvi cannot feel very good. Why? If it had a human mind, because it has come from water, apaha. And then water cannot feel good because it has come from fire. Fire cannot feel good because it has come from vayu, air. Air cannot feel good because it has been born from space. Space cannot feel like I'm the boss. Why? Why cannot space feel I'm the boss? Because it has come from Atma. Where has Atma come from? Causeless cause. As though cause. The causality is superimposed upon this I, as it were. That is what it is. That cause which never becomes because is Atma. Okay. So this way we have this very beautiful verse here. And then, so vikaraihi, this is what is vikara. What is the modification? The modification is in the form of cause, effect, kriyamanani karmani. So even one's action is plugged into this whole series of cause, effect. I'm manipulating something in order to create something. This is what all action is. Think about it. All the action in one's life is what? The action in one's life is to create something. And then after that, to enjoy that. So that is the cause, and then this is the effect. So my karma is the cause for my enjoyment, which is the effect. This is another Karya Karana, Karya Karana. So cause effect going on even in relation to my actions. I manipulate the forces of nature. I manipulate the creation in order to do what? In order to enjoy its bounty. So, laukikani shastriyani cha. Here he makes again, he includes all karma. Sarvashah, all karma from all various kinds. Sarvashah means sarvaihi prakaraihi, of all kinds of karma. What are the karmas generally divided into? Regular karma, everyday karma, and religious spiritual karma. This is laukika. This is means laukika means the things done which in the so-called secular realm of our lives. Laukika, and then Vaidika, or here Shastriya. Shastriyani laukikani cha karmani sarvashah sarvaihi prakaraihi ahankara vimudhatma karyakarana sanghata atma pratyayah ahankarah. The best definition of ahankara you'll ever get. What is ahankara? Karyakarana sanghata atma pratyayah. Atma pratyayah means I cognition. The I cognition, what is this I cognition? The I cognition is firmly ensconced in the body, mind, sense complex. That is called ahankara. Atma pratyaya means identification. Identification of the I, the Atma, with the aggregate, with the assemblage of the body, mind, sense complex constitutes ahankara. Very lovely definition. Karyakarana sanghate atma pratyayah. Karyakarana sanghata atma pratyayah. So, Karyakarana sanghate, in this assemblage, which is the body, mind, sense complex, which is inert. I am the only one that is sentient. I bless this body, mind, sense complex with sentience. That I do not know. I am Atma Tattva, I do not know. So therefore, what is this I notion? The I notion is having the identification with the body, mind, sense complex. That is what is called ahankara. Kena means kena ahankarena, due to the ahankara, vividham nana vidham moodha atma antahkaranam yasya saha ayam. So the word vimodhatma, Adi Shankara takes very seriously and gives a long and very full explanation. And what does he say? He says that ahankarena vimodha. So ahankarena vimodha. Vimodha means vividham moodha. Moodha, deluded, from muh, to be deluded. Muhyati is deluded. So moha means delusion. Moodha means deluded, past passive participle. So here ahankara vimodhatma means karyakarana sanghata atma pratyayah ahankara. So this ahankara is the firm identification with the assemblage of the body, mind, sense complex, and due to that, tena moodha, the deluded by that. How deluded? That vi, which is a prefix here, upasarga vi, is explained by two words. Vividham. Vividham means, short form is vi. Vividham. Visheshena moodha. That is one meaning. And vividham moodha means totally deluded. In variously deluded, and then visheshena moodha, specifically deluded. So vividham means nana vidham, totally deluded, in manifold ways deluded, for whom the antahkarana, the mind, etc., is called vimodhatma. Karyakarana dharma, karyakarana abhimani, avidyaya karmani atmani manyamanah tat karmanam aham karta iti manyate. So this variously deluded person is the one, how shall we put it, karya karana dharmaha. So the attributes of the body mind sense complex, karya karana abhimani. So the one who thinks that I am all the characteristics of the body mind sense complex, I am as good as the body, the one who thinks. Karya karana dharmaha, the attributes of the body mind sense complex. Karya karana abhimani is I myself alone. Abhimani means identified, the one who is identified with the assemblage, thinking I am all this. Why? Avidyaya, due to self-ignorance. Why is there self-ignorance? Not studying Bhagavad Gita, that's all. Not studying Vedanta is the cause of self-ignorance. And so due to this self-ignorance, what is this person doing? The person is firmly bought into the story. The story of Karya, cause and so effect and cause. I am the cause of all this. This is the effect. I am the cause. All these things, the person who has bought into this story, why? Due to identification with the body, mind, sense complex and everything around. One is identified not just with the body, mind, sense complex. One is identified with the house. One is identified with the children. One is identified with the spouse. One is identified with the friends. One is identified with the job. And so many other web of human and non-human relationships. One is identified with the pet. Go for a walk, you see somebody walking the dog, you say, nice dog. The dog doesn't say woof woof, thank you. The person says thank you, thank you, thank you. There is an identification also with the dog, and so like this. This is what is called a dogged identification without this knowledge. Without this knowledge, there is a great loss. So, avidya karmani atmani manyamanaha tat karmanam aham karta iti manyate. So the one who not only attributes all the characteristics of the body, mind, sense complex and identifies with them due to ignorance, but also the one who thinks that with reference to each action, I am the agent. So what is the connection between, this is something very important to explore, what on earth might be the connection between thinking I am the doer and then the identifications with the body, mind, sense complex. This is a very important connection and often overlooked, which we have to really, it behooves us to trace this connection. So at the outset, we have avidya. Avidya means ignorance. Ignorance of what? Ignorance of I. Ignorance of the self is there. Avidya. Avidya is there, ignorance of the self is there, and then ignorance of the self, because of that there is wrong identification. Ignorance causes wrong identification. And the wrong identification is with what? With the body, with the mind, with the senses. Not, that is easy to discern. But also with the agency. Kartritva identification is also caused by identifications with the karana. The identifications with the source of this action, which is Ishvara, which is Prakriti, here is not known to me. So I'm identified with the accoutrements of action. I'm identified with the karanas, the accoutrements of the action, as in the sense organs and the organs of action. I'm identified with them. And so therefore what? Since the I is firmly found in the assemblage of the body, mind, sense complex, any kind of a thing that is happening, I take myself to be the actor. That is a direct result of identifying with the karanas. identifying with the karanas, including antahkarana, then what do? I identify as the karta. This is the connection. So, because of that, akarta means I. And then, with reference to every action, I think of myself as what? Doer, doer, I am the doer, I am the doer. So, this is bad news, correct? Yeah. Is there a good news? Yes, we just have to read on. Tattva vittu mahabaho gunakarma vibhagayoho guna guneshu vartante iti matva na sajjate. So, on the one hand, we have a blueprint of how the Vimudhatma behaves. Vimudhatma, how he or he behaves, we know very well. Vimudhatma behaves how? Vimudhatma behaves as though completely identified with karta, kartritvam, karana, etc. With the action, with the result of action, with the accoutrements of action, everything. This is how the person behaves. Correct? Yeah. The Vimudhatma behaves like that. The variously deluded person behaves like that. And then what? And then who else is left? Then who else is left? If the Ajnani is described here, who else is left? The one who is left is the Tattvavit. Tattvam vetti iti tattvavit. Tattva means the truth, the reality of myself as everything. Sarvatma I am. I am not the karta, akarta I am. Sarvatma I am. Purusha I am. Ishvara I am. I am non-separate from all this. In other words, the Jnani is called Tattvavit. Tattvavit tu. Tu means whereas. There is a contrast. There is a contrast there. What is the contrast? Tattvavittu mahabaho. O mighty armed one, Arjuna, you may have mighty arms, but those mighty arms are not going to help you in this endeavor. They may help you in the battlefield to vanquish these enemies, but for disidentifying with this karya karana sanghata, you need something else. Tattvavittu mahabaho gunakarma vibhagayoho. Gunakarma vibhagayoho means the functions between the gunas and the actions, etc. I'll explain that further. Then gunaha guneshu vartante. Gunaha guneshu vartante. The gunas are there. What? The gunas are there. The qualities in the form of senses, etc., and then the connection between the senses are called gunaha here. Guneshu vartante means the sense organs. The sense organs and the senses, the sense objects, they are somehow connected, and they are connected to each other, not I. Knowing this, na sajjate, does not get involved in the thought, in the identification with oneself as karta. Oneself does not think of oneself as I am the doer. This doership is a huge thing in the Bhagavad Gita, in Vedanta Shastra. That's why the Bhagavad Gita does this a lot. In the beginning, it is very difficult to comprehend. It's very difficult to comprehend in the beginning because of the fact that one is not thinking of doership as an abstract entity. One is not thinking of this doership, and so therefore it is difficult to comprehend. It is difficult to connect to this idea of doership. Because I keep doing. And yes, if I am not the doer, who else is the doer? And if I go about thinking I am not the doer, then I will be disconnected from my life. So this posits a very difficult situation. But we have to understand this extremely clearly. What is this concept of kartritvam? And why is it emphasized a lot here? And how do I approach kartritva buddhi, the identification as the doer in my life, and how do I wean myself of the doership? We will see next time, provided I remember there is class. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ. Yeah, time also has changed. So, two things, yeah. The teacher forgetting the class and the time changing, caused a little bit of a kerfluffle, as they say. But hopefully it will settle down. Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you. Om.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Samanji. Thank you.
Thank you, Samanji.